In this video tutorial, we will review how to perform a standard needle EMG test on keypoint.net. The test is divided in 4 stages, shown in the bottom function keys: spontaneous activity, MOP, IP, and MOP jitter. In this video, we are focusing on spontaneous activity and IP only. Each stage has different waveform display enabled algorithm depending on the look one wants to achieve and functions one wants to access. The test starts in spontaneous mode. The corresponding function key is highlighted in light blue. The software may be configured to start with another stage by default. As soon as one enters the EMG exam window, the waveform is automatically displayed. The tested muscle and side are shown in the upper left corner of the window, beside the amplifier channel. Connect the needle to the corresponding amplifier channel. In this video, data are recorded with adhesive electrodes instead of the usual concentric or monopolar needles. The EMG waveform is shown in 2 windows: the overview scope and the main scope. Time base and sensitivity of each scope are displayed in their respective top left corner. The time base and sensitivity are related to 1 division. To stop the recording, press pause. A letter C is written on the right side of the function key, corresponding to the C button of the stimulation probe and the right pedal on the foot switch as well. If necessary, use the left and right arrow keys on the control panel to modify the time base. Use the up and down arrow keys on the control panel to modify the sensitivity. A trigger can be placed on the waveform to time lock the display on a specific potential, which may be used in case of complex repetitive discharges. To insert a trigger, simply click in the main scope. A red horizontal mark shows the amplitude the EMG signal needs to reach to be displayed on the screen. Visualization may be modified in all stages. Right-click in the main scope to access different options. Split, to use 1 time base only or the dual time base option. Traces, to display several traces in cascade mode. Superimpose. Software may be configured to use the modified visualizations by default. Click and drag the trigger out of the main scope to disable it. We now have completed the spontaneous activity stage. Press the IP function key to switch to maximum contraction recording and interference pattern evaluation. The display parameters change to adapt to the new stage. The main scope sensitivity is now 0.5 mV per division instead of 50 microvolts per division. The EMG sound can be heard during the entire test. Adjust the volume with the volume button located on the control panel. You may also use the mute button on the amplifier or control panel to avoid unnecessary and unpleasant sound before the needle is inserted. Save epochs, saves a predefined section of EMG to export into the patient's report. See the pop-up message stating Saving Epoch on the main scope. One may save an epoch on the fly. You may also pause the recording, use the main scope slider to go back to a section of interest, see the white section of the overview scope moving as you slide back in the main scope. You may also select your section of interest with a click in the overview scope. Finally, save this earlier section to send it to the report. Save Epochs is available as a function key in all EMG stages. One may review the saved epochs by pressing Data. Saved epochs are listed with timestamps. Click on the epoch line to review. If you wish to delete it, press Clear. Return to acquisition mode by pressing Acquire. Should you want to record an EMG video with the waveform and sound, use the Emg Recorder on the right side of the screen. Press the Record button to start recording. The recording automatically includes the buffer content, which is the last 5 seconds by default. End the recording with the Stop button. The recording is now saved with a timestamp in the below drop-down list. To review the file, select the recording from the drop-down list and press play. Go back to acquisition mode using the Stop button. EMG videos may be replayed in any stage of EMG, which can be helpful for future quantification or teaching purposes. Muscle interpretation may be done in the findings table located above the scopes. The default muscle interpretation is normal. The software may be configured to state otherwise. To interpret the muscle, click on each field and select the correct finding from the drop-down list. Findings may be normal and shown in green, abnormal and red, or just not colored. Multiple muscle interpretation is possible using the Findings button, which will not be detailed in this video. Exit the test by choosing one of the 3 following options. Press the left and right function key to repeat the same test on the other side of the patient. Press New Muscle function key to run a needle EMG test on another muscle. Press Test Menu function key to return to the General Test Selection view.